Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the spell Wall of Fire. That's precisely how I envisioned it.
Yeah, me too. Next time you're at your D&D table, just be like two hoodie sleeves and some fingers just flail around aimlessly in front of a camera. This is a 4th level spell for druids, sorcerers, wizards, light domain clerics, forge domain clerics, the fiend warlock, the celestial warlock, and artillerist artificers. So like everyone under the sun gets this kind of thing. This is a cast out of an action 4th level spell, like I said, 100-foot cast range for magic materials, but it requires a small piece of phosphorus. Concentration. 1 minute duration. You create a wall of fire on a solid surface within range. You can make the wall up to 20 feet long, 20 foot high, and 1 foot thick, or a ringed wall 20 feet in diameter, 20 feet high, and 1 foot thick. So you can like big circle of fire or big long wall of fire. 20 feet high is pretty high too. The wall is opaque and lasts for the duration. When the wall appears, each creature within its area. I skipped over that text, but it's important. The wall is opaque. When the wall appears, each creature within its area makes a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, it takes 5d8 damage. Fire damage, or half as much on a successful save. So you make the wall, everything in the space makes a dex save, takes a bunch of damage. Well, on one side of the wall, selected by you when you cast the spell, deals 5d8 fire damage to each creature that ends its turn within 10 feet of that side or inside that wall. A creature that takes the same damage when it enters the wall for the first time on a turn or ends its turn there. The other side of the wall deals no damage. You can upcast it. It does a d8 bonus damage for every slot level above 4th. You probably don't do that often, but maybe make an entire build around this. But for the most part, we can check, like, hey, 5d8 damage, how does that stack up against other things, right?
Sure.
8d6 on a fireball does 28 damage. It's a 3rd level spell. If we upcast it, we're looking at 31 damage. So a 4th level fireball, 31 damage.
Okay.
4th level wall of fire, 22 damage on average. So you definitely
this has duration.
Yes. If you want this to be worth casting, you need to get at least 2 rounds out of it, and you need to hit good targets. And I think that last part is where I'm like, oh, we're looking at like lightning bolt worse most of the time.
But this isn't. I mean, the duration is important though. It's not, and it doesn't have to be strictly damage. This is a barrier. This could be battlefield control. You put up a wall of fire, and your opponents have to make some decisions.
Yeah, I like the
use
use
case.
Wall,
around the wall, over the wall.
Agreed. I think my preferred use case of this is you don't use this as a protective thing around your team, but you encase enemies inside the 20-foot ring, right? So then they're like boiling inside of it and have to break out. So you're very likely to get 2-ish instances of the damage. They won't be. The problem is they're not in the space when you cast it though. So then you're like, okay, so I'm not getting the initial save on anything in there, which is kind of a bummer. Still, I could see that there are probably going to be a decent chunk of encounters where you can leverage this in some fashion to get 2 instances of damage. And if you do, it'll probably be worth the cast, assuming you don't have something better to concentrate on. And that's where I think this thing starts to fall apart, is that you usually have better things to concentrate on than this. It's not the worst thing in the world to concentrate on by any stretch, but like summon magic is very powerful. And this is no summon magic because, it doesn't have hit points, nor does it make multiple attacks or do other things. This is just kind of like a big area of fire a lot of the time. And there will be encounters where like you'll be like, I can hit 3 things with this, maybe? Even if I encase them, I might get 2 instances of damage on them. It's still kind of I'm not thrilled with it, but it's fine.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential here. I think as a barrier, as an obstacle, damage isn't as good as a one instance fireball, but it's not bad, and you can hit multiple targets, and you can, like I said, force them to have to make hard decisions.
So like, how hard is the decision is my next question, right? So like, if we look at the ring scenario that I painted to begin with, or we do like even like you're protecting yourself, lots of things come on the outside that want to come in. They take damage in 3 instances. They take damage on cast. They take damage when they end their turn within 10 feet or inside of the direction of the wall that you chose. So one, like a 10-foot area it's like a second 10-foot wall area of like hot environment basically is where they take damage at the end of their turn there. Or if they enter the wall for the first time on a turn. So like, if you put enemies in this, they don't take any damage on a cast usually because they're going to be inside the circle, and then they'll just move out of it. So like maybe one thing does, because it'll start its turn in there, it'll take the damage on the save, and then it'll have entered it for the first time on its turn or start its turn there. No, it definitely says ends its turn there, so it won't even take damage if you put it on it and it starts its turn there. It'll still take just one instance of damage. I think
that's not ideal.
Yeah, I would really thought that that would at least give you 2 procs, but it doesn't. A lot of healthier things are just gonna barrel right through this and not really give a crap and kind of be like, thanks for losing 10 damage, scrub.
All right, so all right.
I'm getting lower and lower on this. The more I like getting
Yeah,
into how the
now I
damage
am as well.
procs.
And its turn. So if I just shoved you into the wall, you don't take any damage?
You'll take the damage from entering it. Then at the
Okay.
start of your turn, as long as you're out of it, there's no other effects.
All right, now I put you. I use my telekinetic powers to shove you through the wall to the hot side. Okay, so you take damage from going through the wall?
Yes, you take the damage for you entered the wall for the first time on a turn.
Right. But all right, then the next turn you start your turn there, right?
Yes, and the damage triggers if you end your turn there.
All right, not if you start. Okay.
Correct.
So, all right, but all right, so yeah, but if I push you through to the hot side, you still have to if you want to come back at me, you have to go through the wall or you have to go around it.
And yes, but this is a scenario where you're like right next to the wall yourself, and very likely could be shoved through as well, right? Like this isn't a selective gate. It's not like you don't have to abide by these effects either. And you're a wizard, but like if you're using like a Bigsby's hand, you can't be because that requires concentration. So you're gonna need like your friends to be doing that. And I don't know, like because it's opaque, you can't throw like thorn whips through it or anything like that. You can't see where the enemies are on the other side of the wall once it's down.
Yeah, but you can still take pot shots at them.
Just blindly through the flames, yeah, sure.
I guess I don't know. Yeah, you're ruining
This is
another
kind of
one
falling
for
apart
me.
to me.
Yeah, me too. I wanted to like this one. I came in with a good attitude.
I thought I did too. I was like, it's fine. It's not as fine. Getting this thing to do more than one instance of damage is seeing harder and harder, and a lot riskier too. Like I think a lot of times you'll cast this spend to get more than one instance of damage out of it, and like if you're like skirmishing near it, the odds of you taking damage seems pretty high to me. And that damage might be from the wall itself. If the ogre kind of goes, "Oh, you didn't push me because I passed my strength save," pick you up by the head, throw you through your own wall of fire. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not loving it.
All right, one thing. All right, you said you wanted to go back to the opaque thing.
I just did touch about it. You can't shoot through it. You can't throw thorn whips through this. You can't gust of wind things through this easily.
You can. It's up to 20 feet high, so you could make this only a foot high.
Me as a DM roll all the time that things go barreling directly over top of that. Then are you kidding me?
It's still putting out heat.
So the best use case for this is just like a little tiny cinder wall. That's just very hot. So it's more like wall of non-opaque heat is what we've basically created. Because like things need to pass through the wall to take the first instance of damage at all. So like, okay, let's say you do thorn whip them. You leave it like 3 feet tall, so then only the short characters can't see over, but the tall characters can. And you like thorn whip things, they definitely have to pass through it. Maybe that's where you're at, but then they just throw crap at you and you lose concentration on this, so it's not even protective.
That's just a fun idea I had.
I think it is a fun idea. I will say this, like for all the crap I'm giving it, the floor being 5-8 damage isn't like the end of the world. It's not great. It's definitely lower than it should be. And if you can get more, if you can angle your range 2 instances of damage out of this thing on multiple creatures, you're very happy. I think the more I look at this, that's like more and more of a pipe dream. And that's going to lead this to be something that you will play with if you love the wall stuff and you think it's going to be fun and you can envision this being a disastrous time for you and your friends. That's why I would put this on a character sheet for that reason. Right? I would put this on a character sheet if I was like, I think messing around with this grid is going to be a good time. I'm going to make weird walls of fire, and my ranger is going to do some wacky things with it, or my druid's going to do some wacky things with it, or maybe I'm like a strength wizard for some reason. He hits the gym and the library every day of the week. That's the kind of character I would consider doing the wall of fire build or something towards. I think a lot of the time, because it takes your own concentration, so you have a really hard time using other push and pull effects with it, and it is not that consistent on dealing more than one instance of damage, this probably doesn't have a home on a lot of character sheets.
This this might work well with a build with a larger team build. Like, all right, we're gonna have the push pull team, and I'm gonna use my contribution will be setting up these area of effect and wall spells, and there you go.
That is a advocating statement to say you should try doing that, because I'm confident that never happens.
Yeah.
Like that's to say you could have a fun time coming up with a party composition with some enfranchised players that go, let's all build together. And instead, what normally happens is you got 5 people building independent characters with wildly different backstories, some of which don't exist, some of which are like 12 pages deep, that are about world lore that doesn't exist. And your DM's like piecing it all together, trying to get everyone to get excited about a random ass heist about this joke meme that they found, right? Like that's more realistically what D&D looks like. So I think the pipe dream of you build the push-pull team and it works with Wall of Fire, which it doesn't even seem like it works that well with Wall of Fire.
No, it doesn't seem like that as much as it did when we started this video.
Yeah, that wall is opaque text sure does really mitigate its ability to be good. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to start it too. I think I might be undervaluing it a little bit. I haven't played with it a lot. Commenters below, if you have played with it a lot, let me know your thoughts on it, because it reads pretty bad to me. Bob?
Oh, I was also thinking you could the same in some similar interests you'd use a lightning bolt, a crowded hallway. You got soldiers running at you, wall of fire them. Like now, they're stuck in that hallway.
Yeah, that kind of plays like a persistent lightning bolt, right? Like that is just you're not going through that hallway right now because you'll take the damage, as opposed to like one lightning bolt is, oh, the bolt's gone, okay, we go now.
Or if the hallway is 60 feet long, they gotta run while on fire. That's good times.
You just like tormenting people.
Yeah, well, I mean, this D&D. If you're lighting someone on fire, you're gonna want to enjoy it. That's the game.
I also want that on a t-shirt. If you're lighting people on fire, you're gonna want to enjoy it. Dungeons and Dragons.
Consider it done. I'm gonna be generous and give this one a 3. I think there's more potential than we dug for here, and I think
you might be right.
I think our commenters will justify it. So that's on you, commenters. Vindicate me. All right. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Let us know your opinions down in the comments, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns and Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.